So our housing coordinator, Jenna Meyer, is going to be joining us a little bit later this evening. My name is Amanda Smith. I am a communications coordinator for business and auxiliary services, and I am here to help you prepare for Pitt. So the premise of this presentation and what we're going to walk through this evening is to view your housing assignment, the instructions to pre-submit your photo for your Panther card, which is also your student ID, reviewing what you should be bringing to campus, discussing our Ship to Pitt program, figuring out where you can find our Pitt arrival information, learning where to access additional resources, and then we're going to open the floor for questions and answers. We also have representatives from Residence Life with us and from Panther Central. So there will be time to ask questions throughout this presentation and at the end, and we will do our best to answer them. So the first thing that will be of importance to you is our first year portal. And the first year portal is located on the Panther Central website. There's a link to it right here. It's bit.ly/Pitt first year portal, and please make sure you're capitalizing it exactly as it appears so that you are able to easily find it. And on this portal, you're going to see things from viewing your housing assignment to finding your meal plan to figuring out how you can access shuttle schedules. It's a really great resource for incoming first year students. We also recently launched a space on the MyPitt mobile app. So all of the information that you can access on our website, you can find on the MyPitt mobile app. And if you use that bit.ly link there, you can go ahead and easily download it to a smartphone. It doesn't have to be an iPhone. You can also download it to an Android as well. So the next component of the presentation is viewing your housing assignment. So to view your housing assignment, you're going to log into the MyPitt portal, and you're just going to search for housing and dining. You'll click on the 2021-2022 housing and dining information, and it will navigate you to the housing information section. You're then going to, click view your housing assignment. There should also have been an email sent to your pitt.edu email address. So if you have not yet taken the steps to set up your pitt.edu email address, you should do so immediately because your housing assignment was emailed to you earlier this month. The next thing you're going to do, and yes, that is a picture of me, is pre-submit your Panther card or your photo for your Panther card, which is your student ID. So traditionally, lines at Panther Central have been incredibly long, and due to the COVID-19 pandemic, we are encouraging everyone to pre-submit their photo. You must pre-submit your photo before midnight on August 2nd for us to have time to mail your student ID to your house. It's important to receive your student ID prior to move-in because in almost all residence halls, that is also your room key, and it is always your meal pass for all of our dining facilities, and it is also the way that you will access the Port Authority buses. So it's very, very, very crucial that you get your student ID. You will need your student ID, so please pre-submit your photo for your student ID. And when you go onto our website, which is pc.pitt.edu, you will find instructions on our photo guidelines and how to pre-submit your photo right through our website. It's very easy. So the next thing that's important to discuss is what to bring. We have a move-in checklist, and I can show you once I'm finished with this presentation where that lives. It is on our new arrival site, which is arrival.pitt.edu. And it basically showcases what you can bring to campus and also what is not allowed in our residence halls. There are a few items that are prohibited for health and safety reasons. So please ensure that you are reviewing that list. And we are encouraging everyone to pack light. You do not need to bring your winter jackets and your sweaters to campus with you during move-in, especially if you only live 30 minutes from campus. Our I went to Pitt for my undergrad and I only lived 30 minutes away. So I'm telling you, it will save you so much hassle to just bring the essentials on move-in day and then bring the rest of your belongings at a later time. So we will touch back to show you where that is here at the end of this presentation. So the next thing is to ship to Pitt. Please, please, please utilize this service. It's going to cut down on your move-in time. It will make move-in so much simpler. You won't be pushing around big housing carts and waiting in line to use elevators if you ship all of your belongings to campus prior to your move-in date and time. Right now, the deadline to ship your belongings and to get your labels is this Friday, July 30th. Be on the lookout if anything does change. We'll send an update via email and on our social media channels. Essentially, as I said, you get 5 prepaid labels. You must supply your own boxes. The box dimensions are 20 by 20 by 20. We recommend going to a U-Haul or a Lowe's or a Home Depot, and you can pick those boxes up there. Please ensure that your boxes do not weigh more than 50 pounds. That's 50 pounds per box. You're going to want to ensure that you're securing each box and labeling each box appropriately, and you will receive a tracking number for each box, and each box is insured up to $1,000. So it's a free service, very easy to use. I'll point out where that is after this presentation concludes so that you can go ahead and print your labels when we are done. And the next thing is our arrival. You can view your arrival date and time at arrival.pitt.edu. This site is going to be crucial for navigating your entire move-in experience. Our before you leave tabs run through everything you need to do before you leave your home. Our move-in tabs will walk you through what move-in day is like. It will explain our welcome stations, the wristband requirements that we have for parents, how to sign out cards. We will be posting our welcome station date and times there when they become available later this month. And then after you arrive, walks you through what you can expect once you've unpacked all of your belongings on campus. So 3 quick call outs on this site. You can view your move-in date and time on this site. You can view your housing assignment, take a virtual tour of your housing assignment, and view your housing assignment's amenities. You can also view all the parking information that you need for move-in. So you can download and print your parking pass. You'll be able to access your short-term and long-term parking. It gives you a very comprehensive overview of what you need to do. So please, please, please go and visit this site. And then we have some resources here. So our department is Panther Central, and we oversee housing, and we work closely with dining, and also have Pitt's 24/7 customer care center. So you can check out all of our resources at pc.pitt.edu and view our news and announcements to stay up to date on everything that is happening. And also go and visit that arrival.pitt.edu website. And our housing coordinator, Jenna Meyer, just joined the call. So before I open it up to Q&A and before I pull up the arrival website and where you can access the ship to Pitt information, I will let her take the floor to discuss anything that I may have missed.
Thanks, Amanda. Sorry, everyone, for my tardiness. Technical difficulties over here, but Amanda did a great job at covering, I think, a lot of what we are going to be speaking about today. But we do really want to emphasize the ship to Pitt method to getting your belongings to campus. So Amanda, if you want to head over to that site, that would be great.
I'm going there right now.
Okay, while you're bringing that site up, I will start answering some of the basic questions that I see coming in, specifically some belongings that you can maybe try shipping to Ship to Pitt. So fairy lights, holiday lights, twinkle lights, things like that are prohibited in the residence halls and in on-campus housing. They are a fire hazard, so even if they are battery powered or plug-in, they are not allowed to be in the residence halls. So that's a pretty popular question. Unfortunately, we're not able to have them. We want to make sure that the buildings are safe. You are able, though, to bring surge protectors, no extension cords. And another question that we had last week was peel and stick wallpaper. You are also not allowed to have that in the halls, but you are able to decorate your walls with posters and photos and things like that. And you can just use like command strips or the putty that you can find at like Home Depot or Target. All right, so Ship to Pitt. Here is the site itself. It will walk you through the entire process. So you want to make sure that you click that button there to actually create your labels. And you do have, I believe, until July 30th to create them. And don't forget, you get up to 5 packages of 20 by 20 by 20 boxes to ship. And it's telling you what you should not ship. So you want to make sure you're not shipping any of your personal items that could potentially be lost in the mail. So no Panther card, no social security card, no driver's license, any liquids, things like that. Save that for bringing to campus if you're driving. Otherwise, feel free to ship your clothing, your bedding, any of your decorations, maybe your shower caddy, your flip-flops, things like that. Those are all popular items that students do end up shipping to campus. Okay. And also the arrival site itself has so many awesome resources for our students and parents. So, the move-in page with the actual times, the things for before you leave on like what to pack, what to bring. Those are all here. So just keep an eye out for any updates, but for the most part, all of our information is on this site here. Okay. Starting from the top with questions. And I actually want to call out if Amanda from Residence Life is on the call right now. Before we get into Q&A, Amanda, are you here? Amanda Smith, is she able to speak if she's not on the panel?
Yes, she is in here. She should be able to speak.
Okay, we'll hold off then. I was just gonna have her go over some basic Res Life things about orientation, but we can hold off a little bit later for that, and I will just start on the questions. International students, to my knowledge, will not be receiving their Panther card via mail. They should be picking up their Panther cards at the guards booth if they pre-submitted their photo prior to arrival. You can pick up your Panther card at your building welcome station there. John asked, why do we need a social security card? You don't technically need your social security card. I took mine to college because I needed it for my clearances whenever I was an education major. I know that, it was something that my parents had given to me to hold on to my 4 years, just in case I needed it for proof of identity. But you don't technically need to bring it with you. Let's see here. The recording, the last Zoom meeting recording can be found on the YouTube page, I believe, for, is it Pitt Arrival, Amanda? No.
It's on the Panther Central News and Announcement page and the Pitt Arrival news page. But
That's where it is.
it's linked to our Pitt Housing YouTube channel.
Thank you. Can I print ship to Pitt labels before July 30th, but ship later in August? So as long as you give yourself at least 2 weeks prior to when you're supposed to arrive to allow your packages to be shipped to Pitt, you are able to print your labels and hold off a couple more days. But I would highly recommend getting your packages in the mail as soon as possible to give our team enough time to sort the packages and make sure it's in your room in time of your arrival. Are the photo IDs being mailed to our homes? If you pre-submitted your photo all the way up until this point, your ID should be shipped to your home address as long as you are within the United States. And if you by chance upload your photo after August 1st, there's a good chance that it will end up being kept on campus and just printed at and given to your guards station for you to pick up whenever you arrive to campus. So we don't want to risk it being shipped to home and then you already being on the road to get to Pitt. So after August 1st, just prep for your ID to be picked up on campus. Your ship to Pitt items are delivered directly to your bedroom within your hall. So if you're in Tower A and your room is 1202, it will be delivered to 1202. If you are in, let's say, Bruce, Suite 5D, it will be delivered to your bedroom within your suite. So they are very, very specific on the bedroom delivery. Let's see here. Does one helper mean only one parent can help move in? Absolutely not. So you are able to bring more than one helper, but only one helper is allowed in the building at a time to help you move in. So if you want to bring two and one of them is, bringing your belongings from the vehicle to the hall, and then the other one is helping you bring the items from the hall up to your room, you can definitely have two, but you can only have one in the building with you at any given time. But you aren't going to be moving in all day either. So keep in mind, if you want to bring two helpers, you may end up having one helper move you in, and then after you're done moving in, you might go grab dinner or lunch with both of your helpers. So they are welcome to be on campus, but you are only allowed to have one in the building with you at a time. For meal plan changes, you are able to change your current meal plan all the way up until ad drop, which I believe is September 5th. So if you come to campus and you have the weekday unlimited plan with $300 dining dollars, and you end up being on campus or seeing yourself being on campus for the majority of the weekends, and you want to pick up the unlimited plan, you are able to upgrade your plan or change it to something else all the way up until the end of ad drop. Let's see here. Early arrival requests. Generally, our early arrival requests come from groups. So example is the Provost Academy, Pitt Band, dance, things like that. So a large group will request to have their students move in for an early arrival, and that's when we approve that. And if you are an individual that is requesting an early move-in, it does take a special request to move in any day earlier than August 19th. But for the most part, if you're part of one of those larger groups that I had said before, or another large group, they will be responsible for contacting Housing and Panther Central to request your early move-in. So there's no need for you to reach out. If you are not able to move in on your designated date for arrival, but you are able to move in on one of the designated arrival days, there's no need to contact Panther Central. We are already gearing up to be ready for students to move in those days, so there's no need to contact us. For shipping, laundry detergent pods and Clorox wipes, I would say that as long as it's, nope, that's a no.
You cannot ship any liquids.
Okay.
No
liquids. I
yes.
keep your shampoo in your car. Items do not have to be shipped by this Friday. Labels need to be printed by this Friday, and try not to hold off on shipping your items any later. We really want you to have your items here when you move in. For early arrivals, if you are part of like the Pitt band or something, like I had said before, there will be moving carts available for you when you are moving in. Any kind of fairy string lights, holiday lights, twinkle lights, battery, or plug-in, even if they have photo clips, is a no. You can absolutely use command hooks and command strips to hang things on the walls. Students do it all the time. You do not need to renew your Panther ID every year. Your Panther card will have an expiration date on it for when you need to renew that, but generally it lasts at least 2 years. Okay, so to my understanding, students are able to bring the little bullet blenders because there's no heating element in it. So if your student enjoys smoothies, nothing too large, but I think like the single serve one is allowed. Students do keep, liquids and fruits and stuff in their rooms, and they are able to make their own smoothies in their rooms. If you have any questions about parking, not specific to arrival, so parking throughout the entire year, you'll want to contact the parking office, and we can drop the link into the chat to contact parking. If you pre-submitted your photo for your Panther card, you do not need to ask for it to be mailed to you. It will automatically be mailed to you as long as you've already pre-submitted. Okay, so a question about your designated move-in time. We know that we give you 4-hour increments, but realistically, this works. It has happened for many years. You show up to Pitt in your vehicle and you have a 1-hour short-term parking pass to park as close to the building where your short-term parking is to unload your vehicle. After you unload your vehicle, you will then move your vehicle to long-term parking, wherever that is designated, depending on your building. And then you are able to stay throughout the day. So your helper will have a wristband. It will be good all the way up until the end of arrival that day. So you can help get settled in and things like that. So you don't really have to stick to that 4-hour timeline for like unloading and things like that. But you want to make sure that you're in short-term parking for 1 hour, you move to long-term parking, and then you have the day to get settled. But we definitely recommend using Ship to Pitt so that all of your items, or as many of your items as possible, is already in your room waiting for you, so you have less things to unload from your vehicle. Does the number in the housing assignment tell you which floor and room we have? Yes. So if you are in Lothrop 404, that's Lothrop, 4th floor, room 4. If you're in Sutherland East, let's say A4, you're in Sutherland East, 4th floor, A suite, and then there's a room designated with the A suite. So that's your room within that suite. For any COVID related questions or procedures, you want to rely on the, I believe it's coronavirus.pitt.edu for any campus updates on mask requirements and things like that. That will all be on that website. Can deliveries like Amazon, Target, things like that be scheduled to the rooms before arriving? Unfortunately not. So what you're gonna have to do, technically the residence halls don't open until the 19th. That's when arrival starts. So you want to make sure you're not shipping any items to Pitt prior to that. Otherwise, they may not be received by the mailroom. You want to try to wait as close to the 19th as possible and then ship items so that they are here and delivered on the 19th when we know that students will actually be residing in those spaces and that they'll be able to be picked up by that student. For any questions about refrigerators and microwaves, I highly recommend renting a micro fridge through the micro fridge program. So if you don't want to purchase or ship a refrigerator and microwave, you can definitely rent one and it will be delivered to the room that you'll be living in for the year. And then they'll pick it up at the end of the year and you don't have to worry about shipping it or anything. But otherwise, if you plan on shipping an item that large, it will need to wait until closer to August 19th when the mailroom will be accepting packages for students living in those rooms. For information about registering a bike on campus and a place to store a bike, I believe you contact the parking office as well.
Go to pts.pitt.edu/commuting and click on our bike pit pages. It'll walk you through directions for all of that.
How does laundry work? Quarters or credit card? We actually recommend students using their Panther card to do laundry. So if you are if your student or the designated person to view their student account has access to load Panther funds, you can load dollars onto their Panther card and they're able to use their card to do their laundry. So you can use your Panther card. Otherwise, I believe you are able to use dollar bills and quarters. Let's see. So technically, a family can stay in Pittsburgh for as long as they want. But unfortunately, they still are only allowed to have one helper in the building at any given time, even if it's technically not their designated arrival day. So we really can't put a timeline on how long your family wants to stay. But we have had families stay for the weekend or things like that, and the student will just go in and out of the building with one helper throughout the weekend, and then come out, greet their family, and go out to some places in Pittsburgh if they want to stay a little bit longer. Let's see here. So the amount of refrigerators that you can have in a room. So if you are in a double, you can only have one refrigerator in the double. But if you are in a suite that consists of two doubles, you can have two refrigerators. So for each bedroom, you can have one mini fridge. How is a meal plan reimbursed if it's reduced? So if you end up choosing a smaller plan after your plan has already started, or if you are choosing a larger plan after the plan has already started, we actually go in and look at the number of swipes you've used or the number of dining dollars that you've used, and we prorate it based on what you've already used. So if you are getting a reimbursement for a smaller plan, it will come via credit through student accounts. And if you are interested in updating your meal plan, it can be done online. You'll go to mypitt.edu and you will type in 2021-2022 housing, and the button will say 2021-2022 housing and dining, and you'll click that. And right under where your student views their assignment, it'll say meal plan change, and that's how you get to the meal plan change form. Questions about bringing a safe to put their valuables in. I don't necessarily know if it's a popular item, but I do know of some students that have brought like a small safe to keep their passport in, or any kind of jewelry just in case. But I wouldn't say that it's something that is super popular. For any COVID protocol information, you can find that at coronavirus.pitt.edu. That information is coming directly from the COVID Medical Response Office at the university, so all updates will be there. So someone asked, do I need to bring a coat hanger to the school hall? I'm confused by the question, but that actually brought up a really great point about winter clothes. Being as though we're moving in August, there's not necessarily a reason to bring your winter jacket. So maybe hold off on bringing, your winter boots, your winter coat until later in the fall. Maybe have them shipped then, or if you're going home for a weekend, to bring them back at that point. But I would say for August in Pittsburgh, you're generally okay to bring like a light jacket and maybe some rain boots to get you at least through September and October. All of the beds on campus are twin XL. Let's see. How small is the micro fridge? Do the suites have microwaves? Any building specific question, you'll want to go to the housing services page. We have any information on there on if your hall comes with a microwave or refrigerator there. And if your question is how small is the micro fridge through Microfridge itself, like the company to run it from, that information is on Microfridge's website. I believe it's mymicrofridge.com, and you put in the University of Pittsburgh and it shows the exact refrigerator that would be shipped to your room. But for the most part, if you're looking for a size that we say to bring to campus, I believe we say no larger than like a 3.4 cubic feet size It is absolutely okay to move in after your assigned move-in date. If you end up moving in after arrival, we may end up reaching out to you just as a wellness check to make sure if you're still coming to campus or not. But if you need to move in after your designated arrival date, that's not a problem. If you are looking to do a room switch within your suite, so if you're in a 4, 6, or 8 person spot in Sutherland, for example, and 2 students within the suite want to swap rooms, so you're still in the same suite, but you're in different bedrooms, it is possible. We generally say wait until you arrive to campus and then email your RD on what rooms you actually want to be in. Instant pots are not allowed in any of our on-campus halls. There are no additional housing fees due on move-in day. If you're moving in early for an early arrival with a group, the group will notify you on the day that you're going to be moving in, but generally we say between the hours of 9 and 5 to move in for that early arrival. Toasters are also not allowed. So for your meal plans and carrying over to the spring semester, because most of our plans are unlimited for the weekday or unlimited in general for first year students, your meal swipes will not carry over to the next semester, but if you have leftover dining dollars, it generally carries over from the fall to the spring term. Unfortunately, international students at this time are not able to use Ship to Pitt. I'm sorry for that. You will not be able to ship your items. Yes, there are elevators in almost all of our buildings. Forbes Craig Apartments does not have elevators. If you're living in Sutherland East, your bathrooms are semi-private, so they are not communal, but if you live in a suite with other students, they are shared with the students in your suite. And for any other building specific questions, you can find that on the housing services page. The what to bring rules are not different for the students who are assigned to residence in on Bigelow. If you are flying into Pittsburgh, you don't really need to schedule a check-in time. As long as you're arriving during one of our designated arrival days, you can just show up to move in as long as it's one of those days. You can absolutely bring a TV. Definitely recommend bringing a TV and coordinating it with your roommate if you have a roommate, but a common size in our rooms is 32 inches. Any bathrooms that are within suites, so they're semi-private or private, must be cleaned by students. The housekeeping staff will not be cleaning them, but our housekeeping staff does clean all of our communal bathrooms literally, I think, every day. That's how often they're in the halls cleaning our communal baths. How do you make sure the stuff in your room doesn't get stolen? So we never really touch on like safety or things like that because obviously nothing is guaranteed, but I think it makes sense to at least educate your student on being smart about their items. So like making sure when they leave their room that their door is closed and locked and things like that so that nobody would want to go in, making sure that, their stuff is secure in their backpack. They're not leaving their items in random spaces like other rooms or the study lounge. But for the most part, just making sure you're doing simple things like that can ultimately help you to not get things stolen. Your packages will either be delivered to the mailroom or the lockers in towers or where your other designated spot is on campus. More information on that will be coming shortly prior to arrival. If by chance you are a student who got assigned to Tower C, but is not in a single, so your information is on the portal has roommate information, that means that you were assigned a lounge, so you are not in a single, so you do have roommates, and we do have other students living in lounges on campus. Nordenberg Residence Hall does have a fridge and microwave already in the room. More building information can be found on our website. And your, I didn't touch on this, but your room is secured by your Panther card. So your Panther card will have your access to your room on it. And then if you're in a suite, it will have access to your suite and then your actual bedroom. So you'll have to swipe into both spaces to get to your room.
Really quick, Jenna, just a quick call out. If you want to know more about residence life, like how to contact your residence director, get information about your living learning community, how to get involved in your residence halls, etc., you can check out their website. It's studentaffairs.pitt.edu/reslife. That's RESLIFE.
If your building has a community kitchen, that will also be listed on the building information page on our website. Other than laundry, what else would you need money for on your Panther card? So your Panther card will have Panther funds loaded to it if you're using that for laundry, but Panther funds can also be used at a lot of our stores and restaurants in the area. So you can actually find the list of stores and restaurants on our website under Panther Fund vendors. So if you have maybe 50 bucks on your Panther card and you just want to take your card with you to head out into Oakland, you could literally stop by Forbes Street Market, buy some stuff. You could go to a restaurant, grab some dinner. And I believe there are even some grocery stores like in East Liberty that also accept Panther funds. So you're not just using Panther funds for laundry. There are plenty of vendors that accept those as dollars. Let's see here. At this time, there's not another presentation scheduled, but I would definitely say that if you're a parent or even a student, now is still a great time to be thinking about housing for next year for on campus. So what we don't want to happen is for your student to get onto campus and to get so caught up in the awesome lifestyle of being a Pitt student that they forget to apply for housing for next year. So we do start sending out information about housing for 22, 23 closer to the end of the fall term. And then the application generally goes live in January, sometimes even December. So we give you a longer opportunity to apply for housing because housing as an upper class student is completely different than a first year student. First year students get assigned housing, whereas an upper class student, you get to pick your own housing. So you don't want to miss out on the opportunity to secure your housing, especially if you are a guaranteed first year student. But we do plan on having more Zoom events now that we know how popular they are. The rule about having guests at this time is that we are allowing guests on campus after arrival, obviously, and I believe it will be not just students. So you are able to have like a sibling visit or something like that. You can absolutely use your Panther card during welcome week. Your meal plan actually turns on August 19th when the halls open. So on August 19th, I believe Market and the Perch will be open. And then as arrival happens, more dining locations will start to open until by the end of arrival, I believe almost everything will be open at that time. Let's see here. If you have, this is a question about what do we expect to get final tuition costs. I can't speak for tuition, but I believe if your student has registered for classes and everything like that, that their bill should be posted at this point. And if your student has a housing and dining plan, those bills have been posted as well. So your fall tuition should be almost as close to complete as possible at this point if you have done those three things.
You can go to payments.pitt.edu to figure out how to pay your tuition bill or to get in contact with Pitt Pay. And then you can also log into the My Pitt portal, which is my.pitt.edu, and search payments, and it will also display your bill.
Okay. So for students that, okay, it was confirmed, I apologize. Ad drop is September 10th. So you do have until September 10th to change your meal plan. And that's also the deadline that we generally give students to withdraw from their housing assignment. So that is when housing gets a good picture of the students that are actually on campus. So if by chance you show up for arrival and submit a room change request, it will not be complete until after ad drop because we can't assume that a room is open until at least after that point. But as far as bringing belongings to fill your rooms, I highly recommend holding off on bringing like any extra furniture like bean bags or futons or things like that until you're actually in your room and you see the size and the setup and things like that. And we do have somebody from Parking and Transportation on, but unfortunately he's not able to present right now. But I did want to say that there will be late night shuttles to Target the week of arrival. So I think there's a Target a couple miles from campus, and parking sets up private charter buses to go to Target when it's closed for students to actually pick up things that they would need without taking like public transportation or an Uber. And I think shuttles go all the way until 1 a.m. So that is a dream to spend the evening in Target when nobody else is there. So hold off on bringing a lot of knickknacks and decorations and things until maybe you get here and figure out your room setup. Family can absolutely eat in our on-campus dining facilities. If we are going to be doing the shuttles home or the buses home for any breaks, it will be on our website around the time that we would be selling tickets. So stay tuned for any information regarding that. Bed heights can be adjusted. We generally say wait till you move in, put in a TMA, which is a maintenance request, and one of our Pitt maintenance staff will stop by within 24 hours to make sure that your bed is raised to the height that you need to. And please not to try it yourself. If you are looking to get in touch with your student's roommate, your student should have your roommate's email address on the portal. That's how we release that information. So I would definitely try to reach out to them via email. So technically the term starts for housing August 19th. And at this time, I believe the academic calendar says that residence halls close on December 19th. You do not have to move your belongings out over winter break. You can keep them in your room. You just will not have access to your room. So you'll need to take home anything that you may need. And then whenever we are scheduled to come back for the spring term, that's when access will be loaded back onto your card to enter the building. Does the Port Authority transit system transport students to the airport and or Amtrak? Yes, so plenty of bus stops in Oakland to get you from Oakland to the Pittsburgh International Airport. I believe it's like the 59X that gets you. There's an airport flyer that comes a couple times a day to get you to the airport. And then a lot of the buses go right to downtown, which is close to the train station. So you can basically hop on any of the 71s or 61s to get you to town. And then you may have to walk a couple blocks to get you to the actual train station. Keurigs are allowed in the halls. And make sure if you are a current person in the chat to keep an eye out for the links that are being posted, because we are getting some duplicate questions, but I see that some links have been posted already. Okay, so just a reminder before we end this panel, if you have any or questions about arrival, to please check out the arrival website, and then definitely look into shipping your items to Pitt. You want to make this experience as smooth and seamless as possible, and I definitely recommend using that option just because last year was such a success with having items delivered to students' rooms. We got great feedback. Information on move-in day meals is coming soon, so stay tuned. And we will be sending out more information about arrival and things like that later on in the coming weeks before it actually starts. So thank you all again for attending. If we have any other Zoom sessions, we will be sure to send out an email, but for right now, I believe this may be the last one. So thank you again. We're excited to see you in August, and I hope you have a great night.